Hello and welcome back to Mac at the Movies. Today I have a film that I'm going to review for you by one of my top 5 favorite directors, Richard Linklater, and this film is Where'd You Go, Bernadette? This was released in 2019 by Annapurna Pictures, and as I stated, directed by Richard Linklater, who has directed a slew of other films. The one other notable film that closely resembles this one is going to be Last Flag Flying. Steve Carell, Lawrence Fishburne, great film, just an amazing film all around, and it's one I'll do a review on here later on down the line. But just an amazing film. If you haven't seen that one, go check it out. But he's also done the Before trilogy with Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight, an amazing trilogy with Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke. Just amazing. You have Boyhood, which starred Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette over the span of 12 years. You have Dazed and Confused, Slacker, Tape, Scanner Darkly. I mean, the list goes on and on. School of Rock, Bernie. I just absolutely love his films. This film stars Cate Blanchett as Bernadette, Billy Crudup as LG, Emma Nelson as Bella Krishnan, but she goes by B in the film, and Kristen Wiig as Audrey, who's kind of like the annoying neighbor. She's like that person that's in the PTA that's constantly getting people to do things that they don't want to do. This film also stars a slew of other cameos, such as Judy Greer, Lawrence Fishburne, Steve Zahn, Richard Robichaud, David Paymer, and Megan Mullally, who is an actress. I feel like you either know her as Nick Offerman's wife, or you know, like Nick Offerman as Megan Mullally's husband. You have the fans from Will and Grace and the fans from Parks and Rec, and I'm sure that there are crossover fans that just know both characters by who they are, but I digress. Anyway, let me get some coffee here. Wet my whistle, it's a little chilly in this room. But essentially this film is, it focuses on the character of Bernadette, who is, I don't want to say she's retired. She's just kind of lost, waiting for the next step and trying to find that next step to put her back on the path that she was wanting to be on this whole time. So she is an architect, designer, just an overall genius. She's like one of those like wonderkins in her field. And she's just kind of like trailing along. Her husband, he is this like tech mogul kind of guy. Like he's working on this thing called Samantha 2 that is it looks like a band-aid you put on your forehead, and it allows you to link your thoughts to technology. And say you want to churn out an email, well, you just think it and it picks the address that it's going to go to and does just that. So that's kind of what he does. He's working all the time while Bernadette's at home, taking care of B, and making sure she gets to school, that she's picked up, that things are being done. But in the same time, she's sort of wandering this lost area in her head. She doesn't really have much human interaction. I suppose she just, other than her like close friends and family, doesn't prefer human interaction. So throughout the first half of this film, you have her like talking to this this person on a talk to text email chain that's like a personal assistant, like a virtual personal assistant named Manjula, which you find out later is just some like Russian scam. So just working to defraud money. The FBI gets involved, not in like a weird action movie sense, more like this is a Richard Linklater, people kind of sense, like just everyday life that doesn't involve action scenes and car chases, which is awesome. And what I love about his films is that they sort of focus on that overall human interaction that we need as people, and that we, just it focuses on the lives that we live in day to day versus, the lives that we dream up. So, his films show that there's flaw in people, and that, with other people, you can help kind of overcome those flaws to the best of your ability and to the help of those around you, and just become a better person all around. And what I like about his, thought process in that, like, I know with Dazed and Confused, they were talking about how, like, it getting an R rating, and there wasn't anything just like terrible in the film per se, like, nobody's head was getting cut off, or like there wasn't just like blatant like nudity or anything like that. It's just that life is rated R, and he portrays it like that in his films. Like, he's not going to hold back um, in how people are going to react to other people. um, so I really like that. And then this film, he focuses on like family dysfunction, and you see that Audrey, the neighbor, who is constantly in her business about how she's doing things wrong and how she needs to be doing, better at being a mother, is in her own life just living behind this facade of, you know, grandioso motherhood, that she doesn't realize that right in front of her she has a son that makes fun of her behind her back and smokes weed and does all this stuff that she doesn't approve of, and she declares other people being bad parents for, um, and their kids aren't doing that. You have a scene where B stands up for her mom against Audrey, and she's just like, F you, Audrey. My mom, like, she didn't choose to ship me off to boarding school, because throughout the film there's um, a segment where she talks about going to boarding school, but it's B's idea. Like, B wants to go to boarding school, and it just, kind of, it's that like underlying thing where other parents are like, oh, you're just shipping your kid off to boarding school, or your kid doesn't know better and thinks that's normal. So you see this family dysfunction. And then with Bernadette's family, you have that sort of separation where Bernadette's in her head the whole time while her husband's away at work doing that. So there's that, like, no checks and balances with the family. So when Bernadette gets scammed by the Russian scam, her husband finds out later from an FBI agent. And then it becomes a big ordeal where they think that she's the problem and they need to have an intervention to discuss what's going on with Bernadette. So early in the film, you find out that the daughter wants to take a trip to Antarctica. Back step a little bit so I can explain this. She wants to take a trip to Antarctica, and her family had prior to said if she went all through middle school with perfect grades, then she could have whatever she wanted. And they were like, that was just to deter you from asking for a pony. And, B's just like, I don't want that anymore. This is what I want. And so it's this trip to Antarctica. When Bernadette's approached to, with the intervention and everything like that, she makes this like great escape, which gets followed up with something that I found quite surprising, yet I really enjoyed about this film. And it goes back to that like human interaction. Granted, I think it's in a way that you would hope it would go, but granted, in reality, it would probably go vastly different. but you know, you never know until you live it. So, and this being based off a book, Richard Linklater is in a sense like held to the story. So, and he wants to do the story justice, so he's not going to change things that, you know, may differ in a sense of reality versus fiction. So, which I appreciate, that he doesn't, you know, flaw another's art to, you know, level his up, or, you know, to set his own agenda. But, you know, you see that, and you see that, you know, the husband and the daughter, they start to interact after Bernadette runs away. And the daughter gets the idea, like, she's going to Antarctica. You know, that was the plan all along, and now she wants to escape. Like, at one point in time, she wasn't wanting to go to Antarctica. She was trying to find some way out of it, but now she's needing another escape. It's like whenever you see her in the film trying to get away from something, she just sort of shuts out and tries to escape the situation. And I think that's what she's doing in life. And so she's doing that, and then she realizes that there's this, you know, greater thing going on down there. She gets mingling with scientists, being put in sort of situations that would have normally led her to feel a level of uncomfort, and just kind of really brings out who she is in a sense. You know, all in all, the family sort of, you know, it becomes a chase, like, to find Bernadette, and they find each other in the end, and they become this like wholesome family again. Bernadette's able to go off and do what it is that she's wanting to do to make herself feel accomplished and, you know, just overall better again. And, you know, the family is just back to a happy dynamic. So all in all, this is a great film. I definitely suggest you to go check it out. I give it a solid, I want to give it a solid 3. It's not a movie I feel like I'm going to rewatch like multiple times a year, but it's definitely one that I would revisit. It's a film I really enjoyed, and that I would definitely go back and revisit and watch later on down the line. Yeah, I would definitely suggest this to people. I'm suggesting it to all of you. So, you know, definitely check it out. A solid 3. If you like this film, jot down in the comments below if you've seen it, what you liked about it. If you like any other Richard Linklater films, again, one of my top 5 favorite directors, and I feel like so far he has not led me astray. I think the only film that I've seen of his that took me just a little getting used to was Slacker. But even the first time I saw it, I was like, this story is genius. And if you haven't seen Slacker, go check it out. It's an absolutely great film. Just an amazingly original concept. And I don't even think that's original. I think it's, you know, some other people have probably had the idea and just said never mind because they didn't think it would get the budget okay from a studio. But Richard Linklater did it. He got his own, you know, independent production going on it and did it himself, and it's just amazing. Anyway, I don't want to go off on some tangent. You know, later on down the line, I'll talk about, you know, my favorite directors and what it is that I like about them. But we'll do that on a later date, so I don't turn this video into 30 minutes of me talking about Richard Linklater, everything like that. So, anyways, if you've seen this movie, jot down in the comments below what you thought about it, if you liked it, if you hated it, and if there are any other Richard Linklater films that you just overall love and you can't live the rest of your life without. If you like this video, smash that thumbs up. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, let you know when I have more videos like these, and a good cup of coffee. For a chilly day, I'm going to have to heat this back up. It's cooling down quick. And as always, be good to one another, and I will see y'all next time.